Who would like to start us off with questions? Whoa.
Congratulations on the win, you guys.
Thank you.
Cheryl, I'd like to just talk to you both about a series of moments right after timeout. It's about 3 minutes to go, 81-73. And there's a sequence where Fee scores out of the timeout call, makes a defensive play at the other end to force the turnover, and then the pass on the three that, seemed to put this out of reach. So if you just take me through first what you said to Fee about it, and Fee, just take me through what your thought process is during that sequence.
I didn't say a word to Fee about. I said Fee, go down there and score, then come back and get a deflection, right, and then make a great pass for three. No, we didn't say any of that. Fee, I thought it was the epitome of how Fee played today. A complete game. We knew she would show today. There was no one more frustrated than Fee over the last couple of games, and thought she was terrific on every aspect of the game.
I think they were normal shots that I usually normal plays that I usually make. Of course, it's crunch time. I knew I have to be aggressive, especially in the paint with a one-on-one coverage. And then, just being the same on the other side, we really had to be aggressive. They, were playing with a lot of desperation at the end. So I knew I wanted to get up and pressure. And then I think there's just a problem in the post. You either have one-on-one coverage, or if you double, we have so many amazing shooters. So it's one of the things that makes our team so great is we have so many options. And so I think I just was trying to exploit that.
Hi. This is for Napheesa and Courtney. I think when this is the first time the Connecticut media has talked to you since the series started. I think for us, do you think everybody's watching this New York Vegas series, but there's another team, clearly you guys, that have competed very well against all three teams, and I still don't think you guys still get the respect that you deserve. I know it doesn't matter to you, but does it fuel motivation and keep that chip on your shoulder throughout these playoffs?
I think the chip been there. They had us 9th in the beginning of the season, so that chip never went away. We don't really care. We block out the noise. We know what we can do. We've been on what we can do. So we just gonna keep showing everybody what we can do.
I think it's kind of nice at this point. If you keep underestimating us, and then we keep just doing what we're doing, we come in and, hit teams in the face because they have the same mindset. So I think we've proved who we are all season, and we have so much belief in ourselves. We know what we're capable of, and that's what we're trying to go out and show every night. So it doesn't really matter what other people are saying or believing. It just matters what this core team is feeling. And we know that we have something special here.
Connecticut, that doesn't come lightly, for any team, and just another big scoring night for you, big assist night for you, which is sort of as the conductor of the offense. Just what was working so well out there for you guys to put up a 90 spot against them tonight?
Yeah, they're making adjustments, and I think that we're prepared for their adjustments. Obviously, we know they're going to go back to the drawing board and make more adjustments, and we're going to do that as well. I think just trusting what it is that we do, trusting my teammates, knowing that if I am getting trapped, I can let it go. If they are hard hedging, they going under. We have a way of knowing how to trust each other and be able to make an adjustment whenever they throw different things at us. So I think, again, just trusting each other and knowing if they throw something at us, we have a great coaching staff that'll put us in positions to be able to have something to be able to counter that.
And for Fee, just, biggest difference from game 2 to game 3. I know you got some looks you liked in game 2 and just didn't fall. Just what was the biggest difference tonight and, getting sort of back in the scoring flow of things?
I think just taking my time and knowing, I put in the work. Those are shots that I normally make, and everyone has an off night. I try to contribute in other ways to help the team. And I know they're going to fall, like I said, this shots I take 1,000 times and just stay aggressive. So I think Cheryl was like, I'm going to score in this game. And she's like, thanks for having my back. I was like, it's just, it's a lot of averages. Sometimes you have an off night, but I knew I had to come in, and it's a playoff. So you have to come in with an aggressive mindset, not remembering what happened the game before, but stay in what's the present moment.
This one's for coach and for the players, honestly. Coach, after game one, you said you like the looks you got. They just didn't go in. And Stephanie insisted after game two, I don't like how many open looks they're getting. And then conversely, she's also said that you guys made it difficult for them to get into a lot of their action off the ball, and they became a team that dribbled a lot. One, how confident were you after game one that you'd be fine? And then for you guys, what have you done defensively to just make it hard for them to even sort of get into things that they would normally like to do?
I would say after game one, we felt like, I mean, they scored 73 points and offensively, we just weren't very good. I didn't think we had the energy defensively. That's actually 2 of the 3 games. I don't think we've played great defense. We didn't play great defense today. We did some things well on some players, but 44 points in the paint. They got to the free throw line. They clobbered us on the glass over and over and over again. That's not a good defensive team. And so we've got to be a lot better. But I'd say that, there was a level of confidence after game one for sure. And I said this, in pregame before game two, this team, right? That's what I have confidence in. When I lay my head down at night, right? I'm going to wake up a little bit, right? Just because that's the nature of coaching. But every time I wake up, what puts me back to sleep is knowing this group, they're going to bounce back. They always do. They know how to problem solve. They never finger point. They figured out collectively, and we were going to bounce back. I wasn't sure if we were going to win game two, but I knew we were going to go out hooping in game two.
I think the same. We've, really pride ourselves on defense all year, and I do think we can go to another level. Like Coach said, they got some easy things like some rebounding, but just pressuring the ball, same as anyone's trying to do. We're pressuring the ball, we're trying to have each other's backs, get in rotation, and just play the thing that's gotten us to this point.
Coach or players, you just talk about how, again, vital the bench was today, 16-4 off the bench. You had some foul trouble. You had to play some rotations we haven't seen a lot in this series. In a series that is so clearly balanced between the two teams, the difference this bench is making.
Yeah, I mean, we said that after the last game, that whichever team gets the bench production, how helpful it is to the starters, right? Because it's just a lot of pressure on the starters to make plays. We had intention of rotating as we did despite the foul trouble, because it's a long series and we needed to be able to, get a couple people off the floor a little bit. And we have other good players. For example, Dorka hasn't played in a long time. So we were really intent on getting Dorka on the floor and getting those minutes, and she was helpful to us. And so, yeah, I mean, the depth at this time of year, those are the X factors.
Over here. Coach, The Athletic during the game reported that you had a confrontation with some Connecticut players out near their locker room after game one, I guess. Is there anything you want to say about that interaction and why that might have occurred, and to the players, I guess?
Yeah, really, it's like the players always say, there's really competitive people who are in the playoffs.
Yeah. And for the players, I mean, is how they celebrated on the court in game one, has that been any bit of a motivator for you guys through games 2 and game 3 and through the rest of the series?
I ain't even see their celebration, to be honest with you. We focus on us. So whatever they did, that's what they did.
You guys were really efficient from 2-point range today. What did you like about the shots you got in your offense within the arc?
Fee rolling, had different matchups. Her recognition, I thought our passing was good. Recognition that, when to throw it in, when not to. Where I thought maybe in the first 2 games we were maybe under duress and still trying to make plays. Thought the ball moved. For example, the play that Howard was talking about, the action went to someone else, right? And then Fee just ducks in at the end, and guards were alert to her being open, and it was timely, and threw it in, and she scored the bucket. It wasn't a play for her. And so that's Fee, though. That's the nature of Fee. She never stops moving and is timely in what she does.
Coach, it seemed like this game had more flow to it. There was less physical play that slowed the game down and gunked it up a bit, so to speak. Did you see that from the coaching standpoint? And also, what's it going to take to close the series out on Sunday?
You're talking the difference between game 2 and game 3? Yeah, there's no question. No question. Game 2 was interesting. Yeah. For both teams. I mean, this is not a complaint that our side versus their side. I just thought it was across the board, a slugfest, and I'm quite sure they felt the same. We just say, just be consistent. And if you're going to let them play, okay, we'll figure it out. Right. If you're going to tighten it up, okay, we'll figure it out. Both teams do. Both teams don't foul very much. Right. We're both good in that area. Good teams defensively don't foul. Right. And we're both good teams. What's it going to take to close it out? That's what I was saying to these guys. I mean, obviously it's a hard thing to do. And we have to be a lot better in the areas that we were really easy to play against tonight because of how hard it's going to be. So I think like we've done all season, being great defensively and rebounding the basketball allows us to play offensively where we want to play. Connecticut is going to try to do the exact same thing, right? So it's going to be a test of wills on the defensive side of things.
So late in the third quarter, coach gave you a break. I think the lead was 10. You got about 4 minutes off and the lead increased while you were on the bench. Is that something your teammates have been doing all year? And what does that say about your teammates to come through in a big situation like tonight?
I think it's just a testament to what coach was saying. Our bench is so deep, and defense in general is something that we've really prided ourselves all year. And so it's not just one person on defense. We have multiple people who, no matter who's on the court, we have an expectation that we're going to have each other's backs, that we're going to play good defense. And so, obviously, like, I want to be on the court and stuff, but I trust my teammates when I'm not on the court. Like, I trust them to get the job done. So I think that was just showing that.
Coach, one last one for me. You've talked for a couple of days now about finishing games better.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you accomplished that, or
I do not.
You do not.
I do not. I didn't think we finished the game well. We were fortunate that we had a couple shots to save us. But I sensed the same thing that was happening at the end of game 2. When we had a lead and we start softening up and we're not playing through a possession, doing what you have to do to make sure that the team doesn't get back in it. It became a 7-point game, just under 2 minutes. That's ridiculous, and so we got to clean that part up for sure.
Hey, coach, you talked about, at night you can lay your head down peacefully because of the players you have on your team. Just knowing Courtney, just knowing from day one, even when she was in Connecticut, the confidence she brings and the championship mentality. It doesn't matter what place you guys are in or what they're saying, what. If you can just speak to her character, the individual she is, and her presence that she brings to this team leading up to this point, to where you guys are at now.
I didn't know, I knew Courtney Williams, the player. I didn't know Courtney Williams, the person. I just knew that everybody liked her. I didn't know how funny she was. I didn't know I knew how real she was as a person. I think that's why we do well. I can say anything to Courtney. Courtney can say anything to me. Courtney's way with this team is exactly what was missing from our team last year, right? And you mentioned it, the toughness, the swag, the dog, all those things, the belief, but not just in her ability to score the ball, but her ability to make to make our team better. When you have that at the top of your offense, right? And the ability to make everyone better and play pick and roll, whatever it is that she's doing, she listens. There's parts of her game now, she's probably driving more now than she ever has. And it's for us, when we signed her, we knew how important it was. We knew how excited we were. I'm not so sure that I really knew the impact would be to this extent. We're not sitting here. And I told Courtney, if we can win another game, Courtney's going to be a big reason why, like we won tonight. Yeah, Fee was terrific, but Courtney Williams, her playmaking, she did this for us. And if we can do it again, that would be great. So Courtney, don't let your head get big. We got to try to win another game.
I got you, coach.
We'll now pivot to the Zoom, starting off with Blake.
Come on, Blake.
Blake, can you ask again?
Hey, ladies. Lana Smith hasn't had the greatest offensive series, but what did you ladies think of her defensive effort tonight?
I think Lan always, brings her best on defense. I I think it's the same. Like you're going to get shots. They're going to fall. Some days they're not. But you have to help the team in other ways. So I thought she had some really good defensive plays. Just keeping her in the game a little bit more with fouls, I think, would be good. But when she's on the court, obviously she's a huge presence in the paint with her blocking and helping and, guarding those bigger players. So Land's been really valuable for us and, hopefully just fouls a little bit less next game so we can keep her in a little bit more.
Thank you.
And then we'll take our final question from Brad.
Yeah. Coach, piggybacking on what you were saying about your defense this evening, one of the things that you did do was shut down Marina. Can you speak to the disruptions that your defense did with her tonight?
We were okay on Mabry. I thought that she's a shot maker, right? I thought she had some shots that she just didn't make, right? I know I would feel that way. And so I think we've got to, again, look at that. And I'm not trying to give her, those same opportunities, in our next game. And so, obviously she's a great player, great scorer, playmaker, all those things. But I didn't think that it was necessarily everything that we did. I thought there were opportunities that maybe ordinarily go down that just didn't for her today.
I thank you, Coach.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
y'all.
Thanks, everybody.